What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week Zero podcast.
Running out of time, finally throws, and it is gone! Touchdown, Tyrell Roberts!
Hit backwards, up in the air, it's on the ground, it is down! It is over, and the Irish have knocked off number one Clemson!
Herbert's got it. Stiff arm again. Quarterback in the clear. Inside the 10. A hat-trick of touchdown from Justin Herbert.
Connor, you're muted.
Oh, he's muted. What a way to start.
I
didn't mute myself. I don't know why.
You did mute yourself, man.
My computer's just being damn slow for some reason. Like
And
they say,
demonetized.
they say MacBooks are the best, but then it's like being like slow as hell and being laggy. But anyway, welcome to the Week Zero podcast, guys. I am your host, Connor. 2020 USA 2026 World Cup champs, Doherty, incoming in 4 years' time. To my left is Ryan 2 mil for safety travel. Still pissed about the whole Bowen and Lamar. I kept seeing Lamar, and I kept thinking you were spelling Lamar Jackson wrong. I'm like, why are they spelling it wrong like that? But whatever. Then below him is Lucas. You can lose again, McKnight. And below me is Jalen Jelks. Is that correct? Is that how I said your last name correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. He's a former Oregon defensive end, defensive player. Of course, Lucas is very, very happy to see him.
Still.
All checked out. Dude, why don't you have a Jelks jersey or just like have a number like the jersey that with the
man, that's
damn dude.
man.
If I had a jersey for every single Oregon player I liked, I'd be broke.
That entire wall would be green behind you.
Hey, don't worry. You'll see some cool stuff for the national championship stream.
Very true.
Gotcha. So awesome. Jalen, why don't you just talk a little bit about yourself before we kind of get into it?
Born in Ohio, ended up moving to Arizona when I was a little bit younger, around like 3 or 4. Never played football until I got to high school, honestly. Ended up getting hurt my freshman year of high school. Sophomore year, I got moved up from JV to start playing varsity and all that stuff. You know how the story goes. I played O-line and D-line in high school. Really didn't know what position I was going to play coming into college. I was way bigger. I played O-line as a left tackle. I didn't know if I was going to play a nose guard and left tackle or what I was going to do when I got to college. Oregon ended up coming to my school and meeting with me for a couple days. And then Coach Helfrich and Coach Scott Frost came out here to Arizona and had dinner with me around like Christmas time when I was in high school. And at that time, I was like, yeah, I pretty much already know where I'm going. So ended up committing. Went to Oregon for all 5 years, redshirted my freshman year. We went to the Natty and the Rose Bowl and everything. That was the year we beat Jameis in the Rose Bowl. So it was a great experience, man. I've been around some crazy players playing at Oregon, crazy coaches. Like I've honestly probably experienced some of the craziest staff members I think possible for a player between college and NFL. I mean, I've had a crazy plethora of coaches. So, it was my little stint in Oregon. Got drafted to the Cowboys 2019. Ended up leaving there, went to Carolina Panthers, finished out camp with them. Went to Cleveland for 6 games and then went to Washington Commanders for the rest of the season. And then re-signed, got hurt. And so now I'm just playing the waiting game and everything, trying to get back healthy so I can get back on the field.
Awesome. Is Washington as much of an unmitigated disaster as we've been all hearing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been hard, like, trying to get in, like, contact with people and stuff. Like, I'm dealing with NFLPA and stuff like that. So they're a great help, especially for, like, resources and stuff with, like, players who have anything going on, like, outside of football after you're done with football or even when you're still playing. They're a great resource. They've been helping out me a lot. But they really, I mean, just been kind of, like, navigating between everybody who's been either, like, released, fired, or whatever they want to call it and stuff like that. So it's just been kind of hard getting my stuff together for my settlement and everything like that for my back injury. So
I mean, well, the Broncos could use you, man, especially with the way this season's gone.
That's why I told him yesterday. I was like, Tennessee needs a pass rush, man. Tennessee needs it.
Like I told my agent, I'm happy to go wherever.
Jaguars are creeping up on you guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
but
No,
Jalen, bro,
no,
if you get signed by the Broncos, you better first thing you get in there is you go and talk. You pull Russ to the side and you say, "Hey, my boy Ryan said you need to get your head out of you know what and start playing like the guy we gave up 2 first-round picks."
No, right? No. He needs to sell his house and to have less bathrooms. He doesn't have to worry about his bathroom ratio.
I think he's still down 2 bathrooms? I think
I think he still has 2 more bathrooms than touchdown passes.
Crazy.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's the best stat of all time. So of course, the big news, but also tragic news was Mike Leach passing away all of a sudden. We'll get into it. Mississippi State is playing in a bowl game. That's against Ryan's favorite team, Illinois, and Chase Brown. Mm-hmm. I know.
No.
Yep.
No.
Nope. Definitely. They're definitely
They're my home state team, but they're not my favorite.
Exactly. That makes them your favorite by definition.
Just because they're good for the first time since Nathan Shieldhouse was their quarterback doesn't mean that they're my favorite team.
Don't know who Nathan Shieldhouse is.
Exactly. That says all you need to know.
So, obviously, you were there. You were playing in Oregon or at Oregon when Coach Leach was the head coach for Wazoo, Washington State. And you briefly talked about it before we started. What memories do you have of like Mike Leach? Did you ever actually get to meet him in person, like during the game or like after the game or before the game?
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I went 1-3 against Mike. He was always ended up killing us somehow. Just in the last fourth quarter or it was in the first quarter, we kind of knew what kind of game we were having, depending on how they were playing when we first got out there. And I think that all had to do with Mike. He was a real just calm, cool guy, but you could tell the sideline. He started scheming up some stuff. You could already tell the sideline started looking a little weird, and then these crazy plays start happening. And then there goes the score. They're trying to run it up on us. So he was a great guy. Always, anytime I got to see him after a game, I would always, say congratulations. Appreciate you. Great coach and everything like that. Everybody that I know that played for him, that had nothing but great things to say about him. The utmost respect for him. Especially being a Pac-12 guy, it's crazy to lose a coach. Especially we played against and definitely did damage versus us. So, having as many staff members that I did, being in the course of time I stayed at Oregon, just being able to have a coach like that and stay, with Washington State that long is,
Lost him.
Oh, no, he's pulling a Lucas.
I know, right? The
I
internet.
think we lost him.
Yeah. Oh, no, I hope we didn't lose him too badly. Hopefully he'll get back in, but
Sorry.
So one thing I kept hearing about Mike Leach while we wait for Jalen to come back is just how unique of a personality he is. He literally, I think after his most recent game, sometime this season, there he is. Mike was told during halftime, at the end of the game, that the sideline reporter was getting married, and he started giving marriage advice to her on the sideline.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, and it's unfortunate if he had lived to coach this bowl game and he won, that would get his winning career percentage to exactly 600, which is the arbitrary requirement to be qualified for the Hall of Fame, which I think is kind of ridiculous because
They'll put him in.
He should be. Just for the innovation of the offense that he created. I think I saw someone who was 10 out of the 10 of the years how long was that Wazoo? It was 10 years.
I think it was I don't know, it was 12 or so or something like that. It was close to that.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 of those times, I think the quarterback for that team led the entire country in passing yards. So that was that's insane. And then, you see, Patrick Mahomes, I think Texas Tech still used a version of the air raid even after he left. And Mahomes, while not a college, great, turned that into what he is now in the
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy. It was like when they were doing when they were talking about Mike Leach before the it was the Thursday night game. They were saying he had coached or had been a part of the coaching staff for like 5 of the last 8 Heisman Trophy winners or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you could honestly argue he made Cliff Kingsbury's career, to be honest.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley comes from his tree.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, Art Briles, Sonny Dykes.
Cliff Kingsbury, obviously.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. So, I mean, that's 3 of the Heisman Trophy winners there. I don't know who else would qualify that would come from his tree. I can't remember.
I can't remember who they were, but it was like
I know Cliff and Kingsbury was also a quarterback for him, I think, at Texas Tech in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So, Lucas, you want to go ahead and give your best memory or favorite memory?
Favorite memory, Mike Leach. I want to say it's got to be the season. I want to say it was 2017 with Gardner Minshew. Just that whole season, and you could tell that Mike Leach was not all about what this whole Minshew madness that was happening. He rode the wave, and obviously
Gardner putting the fake mustache on him during the
the fake mustache in the post game, all that stuff. I thought it was so great, and honestly, just the way that he molded some of these quarterbacks that probably. Well, obviously didn't turn out to be so great in the NFL, but they were they were showstoppers in the league or in college football with obviously Minshew. You look at Luke Falk, who was incredible. Connor Holiday, who led the nation in passing yards every season that he was there. Obviously, Baker Mayfield, who went on to win the Heisman.
Graham Harrell.
He coached Graham Harrell, who wasn't, nothing really until he got now he's an offensive coordinator somewhere. I can't remember where he's at OC at, but just all these quarterbacks that weren't great, but he just made them look like Heisman contenders.
Do we even remember who the quarterback was for Texas Tech the year they beat Texas?
That was Graham Harrell.
It was? Okay. That explains a lot.
That was going to be mine. I mean, that's not a Mike Leach moment, but that's the moment where, that's one of the most memorable games of the late 2000s for me, because that's around the time I started getting into college football, really. I remember seeing that game and watching that game and just seeing the kind of insanity that arose from it. And that's a play that's ingrained kind of into my mind, and I can kind of exactly hear.
It's like the kick six. It's just when you think of college football, yeah.
I'm not a fan of either team, but I can hear and see exactly that play. And you could probably run it without the play itself, and what play it is. That's how famous the call is too.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead next. My favorite memory of Mike Leach was the post game press conference he had where he was explaining all the Pac-12 teams and which mascots would win in a fight. He was talking about, I think he said something about the duck would just sit there and paddle around. The bear would maul the tree. The Trojan wouldn't really do anything unless he had
a sword.
He had a sword. So, I mean, that was probably by far, because it was just hilarious where he came up with this stuff. And it's you almost got to cherish that moment. If you were ever a reporter getting to ask him questions, that had to be the funnest.
You also fully had to strap yourself in, because you had no idea where the answer was going to come from. Jalen, I mean, besides meeting him in person, do you have any other moments that you can kind of think of? Oh, you're muted, I think, or something's up with your sound. No. Uh-oh. You ready? He's really pulled.
He'll get there. But no, and the crazy thing about Mike Leach too is that he never really like cracked a smile. It was always like he never laughed or anything when he made these funny jokes and stuff that was obviously hilarious. But he would just say it in this like monotoned voice,
just the absolute driest humor. He's like Ron Swanson as a football coach.
Yes, and it reminds me of being so heavy in the comedy, just how a comedian would like deliver a great joke. And just like the timing that he had, everything. It was like Mike Leach was low-key a comedian, but he just happened to coach football, which is hilarious.
Let's hope it works now.
That work?
Yeah,
there we go.
We just can't see.
Making sure. I had to log off the Wi-Fi and all that. I'm like, man.
Oh, no, that's not good.
You're good.
Okay. So I think, rest in peace, Mike Leach. We'll get to the pick'em for the Mississippi State game, but I feel like the team, they very quickly said they wanted to play because I know that's something he would probably yell at them from heaven or hell, wherever he is, that he expects them to play regardless of the circumstances. So I think that's the day after New Year's. So I wouldn't be surprised if that game ends up being like a sellout or something and gets a huge crowd to watch on TV.
I'm sure it will be.
So next topic is the transfer portal. We saw something that it was either 500 over 500 players or over 1,000 or something at one point had entered the transfer portal. And of course, Ryan is throwing a bitch fit with the whole the guy potentially leaving Oregon or leaving Notre Dame to go to Oregon because of the deals, getting mad at USC for Jordan Addison and Caleb Williams.
Because USC cheated, man. They cheated.
So, yeah. Obviously, Jalen, you never got to really experience this because this was after you left. But the transfer portal was kind of a thing, at least towards the tail end. I would have to guess, right? Like 2017 or 18, I think, is when we really started to kind of hear that term being used. But the NIL stuff was after that. So, what's your kind of experience and kind of opinion on that?
I mean, honestly, I completely understand if players and stuff want to transfer and go to a different school and want to better their either education or try to end up going to the league and just trying to put themselves in a better athletic opportunity. Just because I know the situation when I was at Oregon, we had coaches coming in almost every other year, and that changed a lot of different faces around our facility and stuff, as well as players too. So I totally get players transferring and trying to go to other places and stuff like that, or entering the portal to at least see what else is available for them. The NIL stuff, I can see that kind of messing up stuff in the future though. But at the same time, I do get it, and I do appreciate the fact that they even came up with something like that, because I remember eating ramen noodles in college and we had games on Saturdays. So, stuff like that, I totally understand. Players, we go through a lot of different stuff that I'm sure that we don't get paid, quite frankly, enough for, just because I had longer hours in college and I did the NFL. As crazy as that sounds, but it's also profession versus education and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of stuff that plays into it, but I just hope it doesn't end up ruining players' aspect of coming in to play football, and it doesn't turn into an NBA thing now where it's I'm going to come to college for 1 year, do the best here, go somewhere else for next year, get as much money as I just hope it doesn't turn into that kind of thing. I just hope it kind of just sticks where it's at now and just kind of bettering the players and their opportunities, just basically valuing an actual player for his performance and his worth now. And I get, the basis of how they're doing things, but I just hope it in the future doesn't ruin things and mess up other players that want to play football later on, and they don't want to just go into it for this reason.
So, Jalen, I want to ask you kind of this different question, but kind of in the same realm. We see these five-star kids now, like a Keon Keeley, who #1 edge in his class, or we see Peyton Bowen, who's the #2 safety in his class, who commit to these schools and are committed for over a year. And right before signing day, or a couple weeks before signing, or a couple months before signing day, these schools like in Alabama, Ohio State, and Oregon start coming out of the woodwork. Or Notre Dame doesn't actually utilize the same concept of NIL that they do. But anyway, What do you think about like those kids being committed to these schools for long periods of time, and then Ohio State comes knocking on the door and says, "Hey, I know we haven't been in contact with you for your entire recruiting process, and we're kind of new to this, but we'll give you $2 million right now to flip
Here's
and
enough
just come
money
play
to
at
go buy
Ohio
to
State."
literally go buy a Ferrari and a pretty
Yeah,
nice
so
apartment on campus.
because I want your opinion on that, because as a fan of a team that's happened to twice now or three times with Dante Moore, it's frustrating because I don't think it's the right way about going about recruiting these kids,
Right.
because I understand like getting NIL deals once they get to campus, right? Like, hey, if you're Bryce Young, you're the best quarterback in your class, and you get to campus, you want to get an NIL deal? That's fine. But I just don't like the idea of like the
Using
school
that as
giving
an
out
actual,
fat paychecks to these
using it
kids
as
to
an
kind
actual
of
recruiting tool.
entice them to switch schools and kind of flip gears and like have no loyalty, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, again, like I feel the same way you do. I hope it doesn't ruin things in the future because it already seems like it kind of is right now. But again, it's also on the players and the coaches as well. There's, I would say, a fine line between like business and kind of like compromising with your own like I guess pleasure as well. Just because, again, I've been through so many coaches that have told me, "Hey, I'm gonna be here next week," or yada yada yada, and 3 years down the line, they've been 5 different staffs. So it's kind of hard to, you know, even establish yourself with a coaching staff and know that they're going to be with you for a long period of time unless, they physically tell you that and they can still go do something else. Or, you're a player who I committed, I think a week before my first high school senior football game. So the whole season I had coaches hitting me up left and right trying to get me to come after they see me play and all that stuff. So I know the kind of business where there's a new coach comes in every day trying to give you a new offer and we got this new facility and this new housing place and that stuff. So I even know what it was like back then, let alone with them just throwing money on the table like, hey, you're committed, but I'll give you a couple million right now just to come to our school because we're going to make that money back anyway. So that's the way I'm looking at it, because at the end of the day, yeah, the player has to, go forward and play football at that school or whatever to, get the money and all that. But at the same time, it's also a business thing. If the player is not, I guess, entitled enough to that team and he doesn't feel like, oh, well, I'm not the big shot or, things like that, or I got my $2 million. I don't need to worry about you guys, you think? Like, what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's why I feel like we're going to run into more problems because we already are now.
We already kind of seen it with the whole Texas A&M experience. I mean,
Exactly.
when they had number one recruiting class in the country in all of college football history, and guess what?
Yep.
20 of those kids are already in the transfer portal and leaving.
Exactly.
And 5 wins later, 20 of them are leaving.
Exactly. And I mean, that's the thing too, though, because I mean, if I was a young kid, especially a junior or senior in high school, getting ready to commit, and I was already committed to Oregon, and even Ohio State or Alabama did come offer me and say, hey, we're going to give you some money or whatever to come to college, I'm just going to go to Oregon, the team that I've already committed with, because I've already dealt with them, been with their staff. They've sat down in my house, eating dinner with my parents and stuff. So that's different. I would come with them now and be like, hey, is there a counter offer, anything that you can do to me, not right now, or even when I get there, that would, what I'm saying, benefit both of us or help to where I don't have to be eating ramen noodles and stuff like that. So I totally understand, but at the same time, there's a business aspect of it that I feel like a lot of kids are not grown enough to handle right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be a combo. And like I said, I have a timer on this. We got 8 minutes to try and talk about everything else. But real quick, I think it's a combo of the transfer portal also is another part of that as well, in that teams will start doing that if I feel like teams are starting to do that if they're losing a player that that player can replace as a starter potentially. No freshmen don't always start, but if they're a high recruit, they're usually going to start, right? That's how you kind of get them. We'll start you, or maybe we'll start you as a special teams. You might get some plays, you work some offense, defense. So I feel like that can be it, where you have, a player might leave, or multiple players might leave from a position, and then this player that you were on before but you didn't get is suddenly like, oh, let the 11th hour, let's throw everything at him to try and get him because we know he was at least interested. and we know that we were on his short list to begin with before he made his commitment.
It's like premature NFL trades, basically. Like that's what it feels like. Like they're pretty much setting them up now for premature NFL trades. Like might as well get used to it now type thing.
Maybe that's how it should be. Schools have to trade NIL money to the other school or something. Hey, here's $50,000 or something, or here's like $100,000 or something, or you make it attached to scholarships because your limit is you have 85 scholarships. You're like, here, we're going to take a scholarship, but we're going to send you an extra scholarship in response, and we're going to send you an extra scholarship back or something.
Right.
I also don't think that like these kids understand how much pressure this puts on the coaches now, because with NIL and the transfer portals being such a thing now, you're not going to see, it's going to start going away even more than it already is. You're not going to see guys sit and develop for 3 to 4 or 5 years and wait their turn to start. You know, and like that's what's tough.
We're gonna have what's his name? The Ohio State guy. Why am I blanking on his name?
Martell.
But I mean, it's kind of like the whole USC thing. You see with the portal as well. Whether or not USC will ever admit that they tampered, which they did with Jordan Addison, schools are going to start doing that now. And I think the NCAA needs to step in, which they're probably not, because the NCAA doesn't ever have.
They will. They have a new director.
The NCAA now has a new president. Who is he again?
Some random dude that has had nothing to do with college football ever in his life, and he's the NCAA, which might be a good thing. I mean,
I feel like they're just trying to bring someone else in that doesn't have that experience to try and make it to where they don't want it to appear as.
It's just the minute I think it ruins college football is when you're paying for championships, because this isn't like the NFL or NBA where the Lakers or even or an MLB where the Dodgers have all this extra money to go out and pay whoever they want, all the best players. Like, this is college football. I understand NIL is a thing; these guys deserve to get paid, like Jalen had talked about, because they give all their time to the school. But I'm saying
and they're not allowed to get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
But most high school, they're not allowed to, even during the summer, they're not allowed to get a job or do anything like that.
But it's like when you see a USC team that goes from 4-8 to 11-2 and a Pac-12 title appearance, and because they got a top 5 quarterback in college football to transfer,
and then now Heisman Trophy.
They tampered with the best wide receiver in college football from 2021, even when he wasn't even the portal yet, and offered him money to get in the portal. And then they get guys like Travis Dye, who was a top 5 running back in college football. I mean, it's just insane to me why, there's no overall ruling about this stuff yet. And it's so frustrating because it's going to end up ruining college football. Because the reason people love college football is because it's not the NFL and it's not commercialized to that extent. Well, now it's going to be.
All right. So,
Jalen again. We'll talk about this while we wait.
Right. Bryce Young, Will Anderson, they're opting into the Sugar Bowl.
Makes sense for Will Anderson because his stock has actually dropped since the season started.
Why?
And
how?
Because there are players that are better than him, Connor, talking over me. There are players that are better than him, and they're actually a lot of people are actually talking about them being higher picks. Will Anderson was the number one guy coming out last year. Like, he would have been the number one overall pick. Right. Now he is not going to be the number one overall pick. He is probably going to be a top 10 pick for sure, 100% top 10 pick. But there's a different kind of money between number 2 and number 1. And so I think if you're Will Anderson, maybe you go out there and you put the last taste in someone's mouth being you having 6 sacks against whoever they're playing. I can't remember who they're playing.
Kansas State.
You 6 sacks.
He'll have like 4 or 5 sacks probably.
And then that's the last taste you have in your mouth is, oh, wow.
But then the thing is, what if Bryce Young gets injured? What if Will Anderson tears his ACL?
I'm pretty sure Bryce Young is coming back. I saw something about it.
Why? People are already saying he's going to be the first overall pick.
I would take him over Stroud as the best quarterback in this draft.
Right now, Will Levis is called the best quarterback in this draft.
Well, I'm just saying Mel Kiper came out with his top 10, and Bryce Young is the first pick off the board.
Kiper at this point, he
lost Jalen again.
He's like a 40% like hit rate on this shit. He's not the best. He's not the worst. He's just whatever. He only has a job with ESPN because he literally started the whole mock drafting concept back in the 80s, and then he had a famous tit with a Colts GM about a linebacker that was drafted. So that was kind of funny. That's literally what kind of made the draft like a must-watch TV kind of thing. So. But yeah,
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Will Anderson wasn't even the best defensive player on his team this year.
He wasn't?
Statistically. Yeah.
Washington is stealing Jalen's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
No, my phone actually actually overheated.
I mean,
I had my phone plugged in like a charger, and it popped up like a little temperature thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
I couldn't even. I have an ice pack sitting up behind it right now, so I can use it because I'm like, I gotta charge my phone.
StreamYard is pulling it.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, the Commanders are trying to steal everything that possible from you.
Man,
they're trying to take the Wi-Fi.
I'm sure.
Okay. So, I mean, Jalen, real quick. We'll move on. Yeah, he's like Will Levis, really?
He's projected as the number 1 quarterback. Yeah.
Did they not see his play this year?
Exactly.
I mean,
Younger Stroud, honestly, above him. But Jalen, do you think it's smart that Bryce Young and Will Anderson, two guys who probably could potentially be like top 5 picks, are opting into the Sugar Bowl?
I mean, I'm honestly, I told everybody when it didn't matter if I won the Heisman or not, I was going to play in my bowl game. So that's one reason why I feel about it. But I think that's just because of the kind of time that I did spend at Oregon and the people that I did spend time with. Like, I wanted to play more football with them. After I was done playing football, I wanted to play more football with my guys. Because once you're around a certain kind of group, I feel like either it doesn't matter who you are and what you have going on. Like, I mean, even Chris McCaffrey and stuff like that, opted to play in, opted to play out, stuff like that. Or it didn't matter who we had. But think about it. One way or another, Marcus played in every bowl game we had. So that's where I looked at it. Marcus played in every bowl game he had. I'm playing in every bowl game I'm playing in. So why not?
I remember.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil, for saying that. Who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
I mean, even Jalen can he knows what it's like, because I remember I was reading up on you, man, and you decided to come back for your senior year instead of going to the draft when there was a lot of draft hype around you. So, I mean, I think it shows that Bryce Young and Will Anderson are also very competitive. Like, they have that competitive spirit. A lot of these kids are scared to go out there and risk their body for, a possible bowl game that, quote unquote, doesn't matter. But like, I mean, I respect it. I really do. And actually, it kind of makes me look at Bryce Young and Will Anderson in a different light, that they're not scared to go out there and put their line on the line and risk a possible NFL first round pick, Yep. So,
I definitely feel that.
Cool. Okay, let's move on real quick before we get to the Pickems. What bowl game are you most excited for? We'll say any bowl game other than the
teams that you're like.
Then your own personal team or the playoffs. Because those, while they're bowl games, they're kind of not. I guess.
Yeah.
You get the trophies, so I guess that counts. But still, I always thought that was a little weird.
I mean, of always the Pac-12 games, I always love watching any Pac-12 team that goes to any bowl game. It doesn't really matter who it is, honestly. I just like watching, Pac-12 compete. I feel like we have a different football than everybody else, the same way somebody from Alabama thinks, Georgia and Florida football and, Alabama and all that stuff is different too. So, I don't know, any Pac-12 team that's playing in any bowl game, I always cut them on just to watch because I have a lot of younger guys that play too. So I always want to, watch them to see how they're doing and see how the game is developing. And also, I want to see there's a couple other games. There's a few games out here that I'm going to go watch live. I forget who's playing them. I have to look back at them. But Arizona always has good bowl games out here. So it's just I I love football, man. I'm just gonna go watch live football. Never so. I just want to watch the high school football state championship out here. That was amazing. So I just like watching football, man.
Yep. So Lucas, what do you got?
My favorite one, going on the same. It's tough. I'm kind of like torn between two. Same thing with the Pac-12 ball. I think it's it's completely different than anywhere else. So I love watching Pac-12 football. You get a little bit of Big 12 in there with the big scoring, and then you get a little bit of Big 10 in there with the great defense. So that's why I love Pac-12 so much. But I think the one I'm most excited to watch is probably, even though I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Kimmel, the LA Bowl. Washington State and Fresno State, I think that could be a barn burner of a game. Jake Haener playing in his last game. Obviously, Cam Ward and Washington State, they know how to put up points. I think it's going to be a really good game. And then a little bit of redemption against the Gators with Oregon State playing this weekend.
An Oregon. Wow, you're bringing up the Beavs.
I mean, obviously upset. Upset about the loss, but man, Oregon State, if they could get 10, if we could get 10, that's going to be.
They should. Let me just say this: they should blow out Florida. They should blow out Florida.
Has Robinson opted out?
AR-15, he's going to the draft.
Yeah,
so he's. Oh yeah, I definitely. Yeah, Florida has no chance. I think without him.
So I definitely, I mean, that's going to be 4 teams in the Pac-12 with 10 or more wins if Oregon and Oregon State can get it done. So I think that would be really good for the schools. I think UCLA also is on the fringe of 10 wins, so maybe even 5 teams, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, facts.
Okay, Ryan?
So I'm a big small school guy. So mine is going to be Eastern Michigan versus San Jose State. San Jose State has one of the top 10 offenses in all of college football. Meanwhile, Eastern Michigan has one of the weirdest offenses in all of college football. It's like a triple option, but like not a triple option, if that makes sense, which is really weird. I don't even know how to explain it. Also, the gray turf is a nice thing. I love the gray turf. But no, so that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. They're both Eastern Michigan's 8-4, San Jose State's 7-4, so it should be a pretty even game. Who doesn't love some Maction versus the Mountain West?
That's true. For me, I was looking. There's a bowl that I grew up really close to, the Military Bowl, played in Indianapolis. Virginia Tech went to it one year, Maryland went to another, and then Navy played as a home game another year. Like 3 straight years we went, so that was always something fun. But that's UCF versus Duke. I mean, I think that's kind of a decent matchup. Actually, I kind of like that matchup. The two that I actually have are Kansas and Arkansas, because I feel like if Kansas had Jalen Daniels and he was healthy to play,
he's playing.
Him versus KJ Jefferson?
Yeah.
That's a great matchup. I want to see that.
Do we know if KJ is going to declare? Because
I don't know anything.
I don't know why he would.
And then the other one is actually Lucas's team and Jalen's UNC versus Oregon, Drake May versus Bo Nix. 2 very explosive offenses. With one team having a absolute shit the bed defense in UNC, and then
both teams.
I mean, both teams to an extent, but I'd still take. I
think Oregon's going to blow out UNC.
And then Texas versus Texas Washington.
That'd be a good one too.
That's a good game.
I picked Texas because Huck the Fuskies, but I think Washington's probably going to win that game.
Okay, we are finally on to the Pickems, and I won for the second straight year.
It's because you went last. That's why.
I got a couple questions for Jalen real quick. Okay. Obviously, talking about bowl games, you played in 2 of probably the weirdest bowl games that Oregon has ever had. In 2015, when we blew that big comeback versus TCU. Explain how you felt about that one. I'll get into the other one after that.
Is that the Alamo Bowl?
That was the Alamo Bowl, yes.
I mean,
Wait, was that the year that was the year TCU got kicked out of the playoff for Ohio State, right?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
that was 14. That was 14.
2014? Okay.
Yeah.
That year was it was a bit odd. That game was a bit crazy, and at one point I was just looking at people like, I know we have another quarterback somewhere. I used to play quarterback. Like, I'll step in and play if we need to. Like, we literally just need somebody to just handle the ball. Like, I get bad snaps and stuff, but when you're under center, there's no way like you just should not be able to not grab a football and just pick it up and at least hand it to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get you're a backup quarterback and everything, and Marcus was handling and doing Vernon was doing his job above and beyond that year. But at the same time, like, that's why I also look at quarterbacks and the people over there like BSing all day at practice. Like, all right, when push comes to shove and somebody gets hurt and you up next, don't look crazy when fire's in your face and you don't know what to do, and then you're looking like a scrub. So, hey, I was always prepared for anything and always the worst, but that was a whole different story. I looked at DeForest at one point during the game and was like, I don't think we can do anything else about this, bro. Like, it's not in our hands. And it really wasn't. And we sat there by the DC.
Hey, unless
Jalen,
unless you got a pick six and took it to the house, I mean.
I'm sure. I mean, obviously, that's one of those games where, like, once it gets to a certain point, you're like, there is nothing. The momentum's completely gone. There's nothing that you can do.
Yeah.
It's just it probably just. I'm sure it probably just felt inevitable at some point that it was going to happen.
And that's the thing about that 2015 season.
Frustrated.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, it was just like and that's what I'm saying too. Like, the whole way that season just kind of ended up was so odd. And then for us to, I think that was the third time we were in the Alamo Bowl, something like that, and we've lost almost every time I think we've been there. That's crazy.
So Oregon should just
the,
never play in San Antonio or Texas ever again.
The one time we won the Alamo Bowl was in 2013, and that was when Marcus hurt his knee. It was against Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's the only time I remember us even winning, and that was before I even got there. I remember watching that game at home. I was like, oh, I can't wait.
Didn't you guys lose the Alamo Bowl last year to Oklahoma?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Even since I remember one Alamo Bowl win since like my whole time.
So really, you should just avoid any
Texas
bowl game versus the Big 12 because you've lost. Because or if we're playing in Texas, it seems.
According to Lucas,
we lost versus Auburn when we played in Texas at the Dallas Stadium. We lost the Natty when we played versus Ohio State.
And then the following season after losing the Natty, we got blown out by LSU in 2012 in Dallas. Yeah, I can't play in Dallas.
I feel like Oregon something in Dallas doesn't mean.
According to Lucas, though, Jalen, he thinks that Oregon would have beat TCU this year.
I do. I still believe that. Don't put the.
I can't. Like, that's the thing. I always have faith in my team, no matter what. I will always ride for Oregon, no matter what team we play. I'm always going to say Oregon's going to win. But at the same time, I'm going to know our faults and our kind of pivots during the game too. Like, okay, we really got to step this up, or we got to take over right now, because if not, it's going to not be good. Because I've been in the games where I've seen the movie play out like that before, so like I already know how stuff kind of happens.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what was insane about that 2015 season is that a few games away, obviously getting blown out by Utah, but with Lockie in there, didn't really help us very well. But then the other one is the infamous 7-6 game. Yeah, the infamous 7-6 against Michigan State. One of the most I stopped watching it. I'm sorry, as an Oregon fan, I stopped watching it.
What year is this?
It was 20
Was it 19?
20
18?
It was 18. Well, yeah, 2018. I don't know what day it was. I mean, it
was like late. It's probably like December 2018. Yeah.
Oh, is a bowl game? Oh, is that the bowl game? Like the Cheez-It or something?
Yep.
It was
Red Box Bowl.
Bowl.
D-Mitch Tucker. Yep. That game was crazy, man. Like, I feel like we were on the field for the longest amount of time possible for defense. And I remember like literally being in water, I think twice that game. And I just had to look at the coach like, yo, I have to sit. And I never asked ever. I'm always a person like, why you pull out the back in? I'll do way better than that. Don't worry about it. I'll get in there. That game, I'm dead tired. And that was the first game I came back to off an injury. I'd hurt my hamstring. So I decided to come back for that game. And that was my last game like playing in college football. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely trying to got time against a big team Michigan State. I feel like defense, we did great. Like I had a good game, everything. But just we had like we
the Wi-Fi situation is like Lucas in the beginning. Jeez,
it's just getting so worse. Crazy. But yeah, I feel that. I felt the same.
We need to get to the Pickems before we lose Jalen for forever.
But yeah, I felt the same thing watching it. I'm like, I've never sat out an Oregon game, but I'm sitting there.
See, Lucas, I didn't know you understood my pain when I had to watch that Broncos-Colts Thursday night game.
Yeah, dude.
I watched that game. I watched that game too. That was unbearable. Okay, so right. We're gonna go through real quick. So
just I think who we picked.
This already was earlier today. I think we all took UAB.
Yes.
Other than one guy in our entire Pickems out of the 24 took Miami, so he's in last. Duluth trading Cure Bowl. I think you took Troy. Everyone else here took UTSA.
Jalen, you took UTSA, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It let us down, man.
Yeah. Next, we have the Wasabi Cincinnati versus Louisville. Wasabi.
All right, Jalen, you go first, man. You're the guest picker.
How do I'm trying to see. My screen's like popping up some things at the bottom. I'm going, obviously, I'm going to go Cincinnati. I'm from Ohio.
Okay.
I got to.
Yeah, I'll go second. Yeah, I took Cincinnati too. Cincinnati took Louisville's coach, which is hilarious.
Scott Satterfield isn't even at Louisville anymore?
No, you didn't hear that? It's the Scott Satterfield Bowl, man. That's what that shit is.
I don't know if he's going to be who he's going to coach, though. It's kind of weird. It's I think he's just going to have to sit it out, I guess. I don't know how it works.
He just stands in the middle of the end zone, so he's split evenly between the sidelines. And he's just talking to one through a mic, then talking to he has two mics. He just flips them up and down, telling them what to do.
It's weird.
So I took Cincinnati originally, but I switched it today actually to Louisville because I found out Malik Cunningham is playing and he's healthy. So I'm going with Louisville in this one.
But it's not a primetime game. He's not going to do very good.
Hey, did he say he was playing? I didn't. Last time I saw, he wasn't playing. I'm still rolling with Cincy, but
no, I'm rolling with Cincy as well. At least that's what I have it on here.
Hey, Louisville's favored for a reason. Vegas knows something.
The Cricket Celebration Bowl, Jackson State, the former Fighting Deion Sanders versus North Carolina Central, and Jackson State. Jackson State's a 14.5-point favorite.
I'm going to 13-0 team for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The fighting, the newly fighting Seven McGee's at Jackson State.
Yeah, give me the former fighting Deion Sanders.
Yeah, Jackson State. Here we go. Florida, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl.
Oh, man. Las Vegas.
Florida versus State. Oregon State's a 10-point favorite.
Oh, man.
Just leave it.
There are some vegans in Vegas, man.
The Las Vegas Bowl.
Las Vegas Bowl.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think Jalen's paused.
Oh,
because he's
I had to click that Oregon State. Yeah,
Oregon State.
Unfortunately, I had to click that right. Yeah.
I know. I feel you. I feel you, man. I feel you.
Would you have taken Florida if AR-15 was playing?
Yeah. I feel like he could have definitely just made something happen. You know how bowl games are. Somebody just comes out playing crazy, and then it's game over.
Yeah, I remember VT played a game where I think it was Tulsa in 2015. Both teams scored 2 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes. It was literally like 45-34 at the end of at halftime. It was it was an all-time bowl record from his points and a half. And then it ended 55-51, so it barely any scored happened in the second half. So it was kind of funny.
So Lucas, who are you taking?
Yeah, I went with the Beavs.
Okay. So what Lucas and Jalen forgot to mention, they are taking the best team in the state of Oregon, in the Oregon State Beavers.
Oh
Man.
no. I never said that. I'll put those words together.
If Jalen could, he'd reach through the screen and slap you, Ryan. He looks like he's going to come and tackle you and sack you. And you're going to have even more medical bills to pay for.
I just want to burn something orange right now.
Right? I mean, your sweatshirt, it's yellow, but in this light, it kind of looks a little orangey. With the
that's yellow.
No, I got
man.
my bright yellow. Yeah, I got my bright yellow.
All right, Connor, who are you going with?
Yeah, I mean, I got Oregon State, AR-12 just not being, or AR-15. I don't want to say AR-12. I'm thinking of Aaron Rodgers for some damn reason. Whatever. Yeah, I just don't. I don't think Florida has it in them. Without
Anthony Richardson, Aaron Rodgers, same thing.
Yeah, they're both divas. It's the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, which I think this is not the Poinsettia Bowl because I was down in San Diego, but I can't remember which bowl that was or which bowl that is now. But it's Washington State versus Fresno State. Fresno State's a 3.5-point favorite.
Fresno for sure. I'm for, that's Washington State. It just happens. Leach, they might come out. Crazy.
Yeah, that is true.
They might just come off the fire, for him. So you never know.
That's a good point, Mike Leach.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cougs. And I'm taking the Cougs because I think if they can play how they've played against a lot of these Pac-12 teams this year, I think they can absolutely dog walk Fresno State. No pun intended.
Dog walk.
Yeah, and Cam Ward is good, man. Cam Ward's really good, and it scares me for the future of the Ducks because Cam Ward is a stud at Washington State, and he's only like a true sophomore or something like that. So, like,
you got another year at least.
So I love me some Jay Kaner and some Fresno State Bulldogs. That they're the real FSU of college football. I even made an edit for him in the offseason. But I'm going with the Cougs. I think Cam Ward is going to get it done. He's going to throw for 5 touchdowns and
I forgot to mention my boy Robert Farrell, who I went to college with, is a Cougars wide receiver. So gotta go with the Cougs for that.
You gotta get him on the pod, man.
Nice.
Hit him up and say, I knew you.
He doesn't remember who I am. I was a P Squad kid. I
was about to say you need to try and have him get Cam Ward on here. Damn.
He was good. I was just watching from the sidelines.
Okay. Yeah, I will complete the trifecta of taking the Cougars and be the MILF hunter that Zach Wilson is.
No, the MILF hunter Zach Wilson aspires to be.
Exactly.
So
yeah, taking Wazoo. Plus, I do think that Mike Leach thing is kind of is actually something that I completely forgot about, and I think that's going to drive him. But the Lending Tree Bowl, Rice at Southern Miss.
Our boy, the Fighting Cam Harrell.
So did he win? Did he win anything?
Yeah, he won Special Teams Player of the Year.
Let's go.
He came in second for Defensive Player of the Year.
Man, they fucked up in the summer.
The linebacker for Troy got Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Year over Cam. So
it's also depressing having to play a 5-7 team in a bowl game, but
That's true. Well, Jalen, I'm sure you're very used to eating rice in college, so I'm sure you can easily make a pick here, right?
The bad jokes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Southern. Yeah, I'm going Southern Miss for sure. Yeah, Southern Miss.
Yeah, I gotta go with the boys, the Golden Eagles.
This is the game that Army should have been playing in, since they are actually 6-6. There should be no reason. There should be no reason that Rice at 5-7 should get in the bowl game. But anyway, yeah, give me Southern Miss and the Fighting Camarels, and it's not even close.
Yep, give me the Fighting Camarels.
We lost Jalen again.
Man, this is really like being like OG Lucas with the Wi-Fi.
The OG Lucas.
He better buy a computer with the money I gave him.
I think he's using a phone, dude. That's the thing. He's using his phone.
All right. Well, we'll pick this while we wait for him.
So the New Mexico Bowl, the Mustangs versus the Cougars.
I actually went with SMU in this one. It looks like it's pretty lopsided for BYU on ESPN, but
which doesn't make any sense because they're awful.
Yeah, they're not very good. Tanner Mordecai's good, and plus Jaron Hall is in the transfer portal, so he will be playing.
Oh, speaking of which, Drew Pine.
So their top wide receiver at BYU is not there.
Yep, I'm back.
No,
there we go.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, so the quarterback for BYU is in the transfer portal, so I went SMU for that reason.
So I want to go BYU here because evidently Drew Pine is their top transfer portal target for quarterbacks. So Drew Pine is going to be go from being a Roman Catholic at Notre Dame to a Mormon.
How does that work?
He's going to
oh my God! That
I
works,
just love the absolute worst thing to say, but I'm not going to say it. And I think you can kind of think it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. But anyway, I'm going to go with my brain here and not my heart and go with the Mustangs of SMU because I think a Mustang would stomp the crap out of a Cougar.
Jalen, who are you taking?
BYU.
Ooh, he's going BYU.
Okay.
Got to. I've seen too much janky stuff happen with BYU, man. They always pull out something. I don't know, somehow.
That's kind of true.
I've just seen too much weird stuff happen.
That's true.
Put them down at ESPN as BYU, so I'm going to go with BYU.
You can't change your picks.
The Frisco Bowl, North Texas versus Boise State.
Boise.
Ooh. Boise. All right.
Yeah, Boise, pretty easy.
Boise.
Yeah. I know, man. Hey, but that's okay though. It was a transition with Mario coming in. That's all right. I can't blame you guys for that. And we can't beat Boise State. I don't think we've ever beat
We've never beat Boise State, I feel like. There's nothing that there's just
Wait, I didn't Connor, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I'm saying Boise as well.
But no,
Boise just got a number.
I'm gonna go Boise as well. But I would not be surprised if North Texas made this a game because we seen them play UTSA to the wire last week. So
fair enough. True. Okay. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, Marshall versus UConn.
We got
let's just see which team.
Notre Dame's daddies.
Hey, let's talk about which team is going to be more drunk heading into this game.
I mean, UConn fans haven't been in a bowl since like 2015 or something, so they're definitely gonna be drunk as hell.
They got to pick Marshall.
Yeah,
sure.
man.
Yeah, for sure, Marshall. And they have one of the best running backs in college football. He actually led the country in rushing yards this year.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Thundering Herd. They will be Marshall this week.
And they will be Notre Dame's daddy for another year.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. They are. No. They are until further notice.
Hey, we already know that game was a fluke, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's because
it's like it's a fluke that you think that just like it's a fluke that somehow you thought the Broncos are actually gonna be good this year.
I didn't know that.
All right, keep it going.
And I'm taking
Don't
Marshall as well. So that's clean sweep for Marshall. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Who doesn't love it? Who doesn't love that? It's the best. That's one of the best ones, along with the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Those are the two best awards there.
Yes.
Because I think the winner of this gets.
They get a bucket of French fries, cold French fries.
Sure, I'd rather not get burned, but I kind of would want the hot fries to actually be able to eat them. But that's just me.
Well, this game is played in Boise, so I don't think those fries would be very warm for much
That's
longer.
true.
Like,
That's true. Be very, very cold.
I think I picked San Jose.
San Jose.
Yeah, I took San Jose too. The one game that I watched them play in this year, they absolutely smoked UNLV. So that's all I have for
But
this.
that's UNLV.
I don't know. This is what I got.
I went with the Spartans of San Jose State as well, the best Spartans in college football.
Oh, looks like I'm the only one. I'm taking Eastern Michigan because it's an even split on ESPN. It's 50-50 in the choices. So I'm going Eastern Michigan for no other reason than I like the gray. I just love some of these names. The roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. I think this is in New Orleans or is this
this is in Florida, Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, Boca Raton, Florida. Sorry. So Liberty versus Toledo. They get to be down south where it's very nice and warm.
The defending the MAC champions in Toledo.
Nice. Jalen?
I think I picked Toledo. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I can't look at the list right now. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, no worries. You're good. So I also picked Toledo to win this. And it's mostly because of Hugh Freeze not being at Liberty anymore.
So I took Toledo not only because they're now the defending MAC champs, not only because DeQuan Finn is the best named quarterback in all of college football, but also because Hugh Freeze left Liberty and Salter, the starting quarterback for Liberty, is transferring to Auburn to go with his head coach. So for that reason, give me the Rockets.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But yeah, I still took Toledo either way. I mean, it's very close, 51% to 49 on ESPN. So it's a very even split. And I could see either team winning despite that. But the RL Carriers, I don't know what RL is. New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky, which apparently Kentucky's not very important because it's not capitalized. USA, South Alabama. And USA, a 4.5 point favorite versus the world. They're favored by 4.5 goals against the rest of the world in the World Cup. That's right.
I'm going Bama. Gotta go Bama.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going South Bama too, even though that quarterback for Western Kentucky went into the portal for like one day and then came back.
Oh, he did? He did come back? Okay.
Yeah. He was in the portal for like one day, didn't see anything he liked, and then
So basically he pulled a Jay Cannon.
he must have went into the portal, got an offer from Notre Dame, and was like, nah, I think I'm going to stay in Kentucky.
Gotta go.
Hey, man.
He'd rather stay in Kentucky.
At least he didn't pull a Jay Canner and go in the transfer portal, commit to Washington, and then go back
a
on
day
it.
later.
Yeah,
A 3-day process. It was like a 3-day
I wish he did.
But no, I'm going to go with the best team in the state of Alabama and the South Alabama Jaguars.
In the state
USA. USA. Give me, excuse me,
All right.
South Alabama. The hiccups ruined that whole moment. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Baylor versus Air Force. Baylor's a 5.5 point favorite. Baylor, I think their starting quarterback, Blake Shapen. I'm not sure. He's either injured or something's going on. They just lost their backup, Drones. He transferred to VT. He was a former 4-star, so big pickup for VT there in the transfer portal. Yeah.
Well, Air Force for sure.
I went Air Force as well, even though it's pretty lopsided on ESPN.
That's because no one believes not enough people have seen the triple option and how that can really mess with teams.
I'm going to go with Baylor. I think, being a Power 5 school, as well as a team that has a top 20 defense in all of college football, I think that means something. And I think Air Force, all they have is really running the ball. They can't pass the ball effectively. So I just trust Baylor more in this matchup.
All right, speed rounds.
Okay. Air Force. Okay. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, Louisiana versus Houston.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston, lopsided.
Man, we got so many Cougs in this in these bowl matchups, man. So yeah, give me the Houston Cougs.
Cougs. The Union Home Mortgage. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
These guys, if they win this game, they better get their future mortgage for their homes.
Wake Forest versus Missouri.
I'll go Wake Forest.
I went with Missouri. We're talking about the Cougs. Let's go Tigers.
Yep. I'm going to go with the real Tigers of Missouri. And when they win this game, their players will not have to pay mortgage on a house for the rest of their lives. At least they shouldn't.
I won't play in this game. Does that mean Jalen gets a free red box?
No. That's the crazy thing about it. I thought we were going to get like a red box card or something, or like maybe like some free movie. No.
Meanwhile, you play in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl and you win, and they give out free PlayStations.
Exactly. You have free PS5s and shit.
It's crazy. We normally got like beats and stuff. They just gave us headphones and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. Or you go, or if you're in the Belk Bowl, you get a $500 gift card to buy some clothes from Belk's.
Belk, yeah.
This is like a southern version of Kohl's, and I'm like, I've never been to a Belk's, but
so who did you go with, Connor?
Well, I would love to back Missouri because that's where my cousin went. Are you sure, Ryan, that Hartman's going to play?
Yeah, he's playing.
Well,
Hartman is playing this game, yes.
Give me Wake with Hartman. Okay.
And then he's transferring to Notre Dame, so that's good with me.
No, he's transferring to VT, so shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
up.
Hey, you guys got a name of you guys got a quarterback already. His last name is Drones. So
Chiron Drones. Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. Middle Tennessee State versus San Diego State. Both games to enjoy the weather out there, and we've lost Jalen again.
Yeah. We gotta fly through these picks. There's so many left.
Oh, we can hear you, Jalen.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see myself. I'm going San Diego State.
Yeah, San Diego State.
Yep. Give me the Fighting Matter Rises. Now I can actually say that since he got clear.
Yeah, you can say it now.
That still is very bad.
Still admitted to wrongdoing.
Okay. Yeah, San Diego State was the team I backed last year. I'll back them again for the first time all year. So yeah, give me San Diego State.
This next bowl game, my pure question was when I seen this was just why.
The Quick Lane Bowl, New Mexico.
Yeah, no, because these two teams are ranked
Detroit.
These two teams are ranked in college football's worst 25. So
at 6-6, wow.
Yes, so this is going to be a terrible game.
Yeah, I'm going Bowling Green as well.
Yeah, give me the Falcons of Bowling Green.
Yep, Bowling Green. It's a sweep. The Camellia Bowl, Georgia Southern versus the Fighting Khalil Max of Buffalo.
I'm going Georgia Southern. I got some old friends that are alumni there.
I went with Buffalo for no reason at all.
Buffalo almost lost to Akron last week, so for that reason, I'm going to go with Georgia Southern.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Hey,
Lucas lost his mind about that.
Akron had a good end to their season, all right? Joe Moorhead He's got him cooking down there.
He's got 2 wins, but okay.
Yeah, give me the Fighting Khalil Max. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Memphis versus Utah State. I'm surprised we don't have a Life Alert Bowl at this point.
A Life Alert.
A Life Alert Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going Memphis as well.
Did Jalen go?
Yeah, I'm going Memphis.
Okay,
I gotta pick Memphis.
I'm going Memphis as well.
Memphis, clean sweep. The Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, Coastal Carolina versus East Carolina. And the big thing, and you can see why with the line, is McCall is not playing for Coastal Carolina because he's transferring. Is that correct?
Yep.
So, I mean, ESPN is a huge spread, but that's just because people are going based off the record. They don't know anything.
Yeah, this was one of those – it's one of those games where, like, I think Coastal's, like, a way better team, but you just never know how good or how bad their quarterback could be coming in. We talked about that earlier with Oregon in 2015. So, East Carolina, I'm going with them.
I'm going to go with East Carolina as well, and one of the best-named quarterbacks in college football as well, Hunter Ehlers.
Yeah, then you taking East Carolina, or are you taking?
I'm going Coastal. I hope they, end up riding it out without their starting QB.
Got it. You're going to go by yourself. I'm taking East Carolina, and I fully now expect Coastal Carolina to win and give them a free point.
So you're taking the Fighting Zay Jones.
Yeah.
No, Zay Jones is East Carolina.
No, that's what I was saying, Connor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all picked the East. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I wasn't sure I thought you were talking to Jalen. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl. More mortgage shit. Wisconsin versus Oklahoma State. What Wesco is a 3-point favorite.
The real question is, do either of these teams get a guaranteed rate?
I'm going Oklahoma State. I got some old alumni there too. A bunch of old friends that played there.
Yeah, I wanted to go Oklahoma State in this one because my cousin actually knows the mascot for Oklahoma State. So I wanted to go with them, but without Spencer Sanders.
But Wisconsin is without Graham Mertz, who might be one of the worst quarterbacks in college football history.
Which is good for them, might make them actually a good team. So I'm going to go Wisco.
So my whole thought process going into this game is Wisconsin, their starting quarterback was one of the worst quarterbacks in college football history. Spencer Sanders was somewhat usable. So I went with Oklahoma State for that reason.
Yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma State. Go Pokes. UCF Knights versus Duke in the
Peloton.
Peloton. I don't know what that is. Peloton Military Bowl. I'm guessing that's some military corporation, probably.
UCF, the old coach Frost. Gotta go with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go UCF as well.
I went Duke here. I think that the former Mike Elko, their new head coach, got them turned around from a 2-win team to an 8-win team in one season. So give me the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and he won Coach of the Year, I think, in the ACC for that. But yeah, give me UCF. So Ryan's all by himself. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl are Kansas versus Arkansas.
I think I picked the Razorbacks. I don't remember.
This game has me thinking about that Vine from 2015 where that Indian lady was getting so upset about the fact that we called it Kansas or Arkansas instead of Arkansas. They did that stuff on purpose, man.
Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Arkansas as well.
Arkansas, clean sweep, surprisingly. I just couldn't trust Kansas after falling off.
They started off 5-1 to finish 6-6.
Yeah, or 5-0. So here we go. San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. This is the Poinsettia Bowl. This is what it used to be. Number 15, Oregon versus.
Well, no, they're used to. It's always been the Holiday Bowl.
Lucas, can we talk about the fact that
there's another one in San Diego called the Poinsettia Bowl?
Can we talk about the fact, Lucas, that the Holiday Bowl missed out on a really good matchup between Oregon and Notre Dame?
Yes, they did.
They
I'm taking Oregon and the points here because May's not going to have his top target, and
is Downs did Downs enter?
Corner.
Downs, I think, entered
Yeah,
the draft.
Yeah.
I know we're not going to have our best corner, but honestly, I maybe this is biased, but I just think Oregon athletes are better. So I'm taking the Ducks and the points.
Jalen's like, thank you.
Appreciate that. I'm glad you said that. I appreciate that.
But Jalen, you're going with the Ducks, right?
Oh yeah,
Of course.
So he's definitely going with the target.
All right, so
No, he's absolutely taking the Tar Heels.
But no, the fact that Lucas just said that Oregon has better athletes is a fact because North Carolina just had 2 5-star cornerbacks transfer.
Tony Grimes.
Yeah, and they were not good, even though they were 5 stars. So, yeah, for that reason, give me the Fighting Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks to absolutely quack North Carolina.
Yeah, go Ducks. Go Ducks.
It's going to be the best uniform game, too, by far.
It probably will be, though.
Yeah. Hey, those Ducks are going to cut the horns off of those Tar Heels, man.
Yeah, and then we're going to take their corner after the game. He's going
Tony Grimes is going to go to you guys. Tony Grimes is usually
Duck.
Oh,
Storm Duck. He's got to go to Oregon.
He's got to be a Duck.
Okay, the Tax Act Texas Bowl. I'm surprised it's not the Tax Act Tax Slayer Bowl or something, but that's a different company. So Texas Tech versus Ole Miss.
I'm going Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
I just watched The Blind Side.
Hey, you know what? I'm going with Ole Miss as well. Jackson Dart is still one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
I mean, Texas Tech could come out. Mike Leach. I don't know. I mean, it's been 14 years or so. It's been like 12 years since he was there.
I think Shuck is starting. Tyler Shuck.
Oh God.
Well, Arizona boy too.
Well, yeah, he's gonna.
That's my young buck.
Hey, he's gonna shuck. He's gonna shuck it up in this game.
Yeah, give me Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Sweet.
Do they each get a riding lawnmower? Is that like what they're getting?
I was.
They're not going to know how much that's useful.
Virginia Tech versus Maryland, so I was at this game last year. I don't remember any mowers, unfortunately, but Maryland did run and destroy Virginia Tech like they were on mowers and then just cut us down. So
you guys also made the mistake of wearing helmets with like a Yankees style
Yeah, we did it kind of as a tribute because the Yankees had done stuff for VT after the shooting in 2007. So the Yankees, I think, every year since then have had like a Virginia Tech Remembrance Day.
You never associate yourself with a Yankee because you will always choke.
That's facts.
Until the Yankees win another.
That's facts. No socks.
That's true. Until the Yankees win another championship in within the next 5 years, and we all.
They won't, dude. The Red Sox just got Kenley Jensen. We're winning this ship next year.
Watch them stop our podcast right now just to go see if Aaron Judge.
Wow, Kenley fucking Jensen! After you guys absolutely fucked
all
up.
we needed was a pitcher, man. All we needed was a pitcher. All right, move on.
But anyway, who did Jalen take?
Bogarts.
Oh, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Lucas, who you got?
Yeah, I'm taking the Gophs.
Yeah, give me Row the Boat, the Golden Gophs.
Yeah, the Orange pulled a Kansas and started 6-0 and then finished 1-5 in the last 6 games. Meanwhile, Minnesota was up and down the entire time, but they finished kind of okay. So give me the Golden Gophers. This I don't understand how this matchup occurred, but obviously this is not a matchup that should have occurred at all. The Cheez-It Bowl, Oklahoma versus number 13.
So you mean to tell me your reward for being the number 13 team in the country and being 9-3 is you get to play a 6-6 Oklahoma team?
No, it's even worse. It's as comparable as when Bobby Bowden retired and they put Florida in like the Capital One Bowl or something.
Hey, but at least if they win, they get a box of Cheez-Its for the rest of their life, or was it for a year?
Florida State was Bobby Bowden's last season. Florida State was 6-6 or something, and they were in like the Capital One Bowl, and then he wins the game. And
I just want to know who the 10% that picked Oklahoma is. And then remind me to never invite them to a party.
That's true.
Hey, man, this is Andrew's, our old host, his favorite bowl game because he was eating Cheez-Its that entire month last year when Clemson was playing in that game. But anyway, Jalen, who you got?
I'm going FSU.
Yeah, Florida State by a lot. Hey, former Duck. Not talking about Micah Pittman because
you're still salty.
I'm not going to say
salty.
it. But I'm not going to say it. But, hey, former Duck Trey Benson, the good running back for Florida State. He's a stud. Got to go Florida State.
Florida State.
Yep. Give me the Seminoles. You're good.
Okay. The Valero Alamo Bowl, 20 Texas versus number 12 Washington. Texas a 5-point favorite.
I'm not picking nothing else, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you should always take the Big 12 team playing in Texas versus the Pac-12 team in this bowl at this rate.
Yeah, and I will never pick the Huskies in anything ever again. So, yeah.
All right. So for me, we are not going to hook the Huskies on this podcast tonight. We are going to pick the Huskies and Michael Penix Jr., Mr. Big Penix Energy himself, to go out there and blow out the Longhorns in this bowl game.
And it's a split. Of course, it's a split. Give me Wazoo. Or sorry, UW.
UW. Yep.
I always get them two.
Their name is UW because they always eat dubs.
Yeah.
Hate them both.
They only.
I mean, I feel like either way, Jalen, you probably would just rather have the stadium collapse and have both teams lose, probably, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really careful.
Yeah. Okay, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, where the winning coach gets a jar full of mayo dumped on him. Maryland versus number 23 NC State. Maryland is a 1.5-point favorite.
I'm going NC State. I know I had a couple friends going there.
Yeah, I'm going NC State as well.
I'm going with the better Tagovailoa brother and Tolia in this matchup. Give me the Terps.
Another split. Give me the Terps. Give me the Terps. Got it back. Only the Tigers Sun Bowl. Pittsburgh versus number 18 UCLA.
Why didn't they just name this the Frosted Flakes Sun Bowl?
I really, for some reason, wanted to say Tony the Tiger Slayer for some reason. And I saw the S there for Sun. I remember VT put in this game back in 2013 or 14 versus UCLA as well.
They better be giving out free Frosted Flakes.
Funny how VT is played in every single terrible bowl game.
Yeah.
We're bringing up all these terrible bowl games, and he's like, VT played in this in 1902.
I mean, yeah. They've been in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. They were in the Military Bowl. Oregon's been in probably some bad games as well. God, that Cheez-It Bowl, of course. Whatever the game versus Michigan State.
Red Box.
Okay,
all right,
that's a pretty cool bowl. All right, it was new.
What game was it? What
we played it.
What bowl?
It was the Red Box Bowl.
Oh.
Hey, and you know what? Red Box ain't even a thing anymore. So
that is true.
I love how you still see them sometimes. I'm just like,
no, they're all shut down, man. They're all shut down. You didn't realize Red Box went under? They went bankrupt, man.
Oh,
hey, I still got a Blockbuster down the road, so I mean.
All right, Jalen, who are you taking, man?
I'm sticking with Pac-12 on UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA by a lot too. Pittsburgh doesn't even have their quarterback, so
is DTR going to play in this game?
He should. He hasn't declared or anything.
All right, so yeah, give me the Bruins big.
Yep, Bruins. Here it is, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl.
There you go.
Number 21, Notre Dame versus the number 19 Cock Commanders.
The Cock Commanders.
Jalen?
I'm going to go with the Irish.
That's my man. He gets it. He understands.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised how 50-50 this is. I'm going to go the Irish. Well, actually, you know what? Now that Pine's gone, I'm still going Irish, but it might be a lot closer than what Ryan thinks it's going to be.
Give me the resurrection of Beamer Ball. Give me the Cock Commanders. Go the best USC in the country.
Oh, the only thing I'm going to say about this game is the fact that South Carolina's 2 starting corners have entered the draft. Their starting defensive tackle has entered the draft. Their starting tight end, running back, and best wide receiver have also entered the draft or transferred. So they're basically Spencer Rattler against Notre Dame's entire team. So because we have everybody except Drew Pine,
but they don't have the heart. They don't have the heart.
But anyway, I think Notre Dame wins this game big. South Carolina's run defense is ranked 104th in the country, and Notre Dame's really good at running the ball. So I think this is a blowout. Give me the Irish.
Okay, cool. The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. Can't believe Barstool got that big that they have their own.
You going to this one, Jalen?
Yeah, I'm going to that one.
Nice.
I gotta go. Ohio.
Iowa versus Wyoming. Iowa.
Yep.
Did you say Iowa?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Man, I'm tired, dude. I'm so tired. Ohio.
I'm going Ohio. This was the game I was thinking about earlier. I knew it was. I was thinking about Josh Allen for some reason. I was thinking about Wyoming. I just couldn't remember what game or what the name of the bowl game was.
Yeah. I'm going Ohio too.
Yeah, give me the Bobcats.
Yep. Go the Fighting Spencer Warners. That's my cousin. He went to Ohio. Go Ohio. But he didn't actually play for them. He just attended the school. Okay, Capital One Bowl. Number 6 Tennessee versus number 7 Clemson. I feel so bad that Hendon Hooker.
In this matchup, it basically comes down to what do you trust more? A team without a DJ or a team without its hooker?
Cade, yeah, right. Cade Klubnik is a million times. He's a million times better than Joe Milton. I'm gonna say that right now.
But Jalen Hyatt is also better than any wide receiver Clemson has had since maybe D.
He's not playing, is he?
Oh, he's not? I haven't seen anything about him declaring.
Why would he?
I haven't seen him say
anything. He's the Blitnikoff winner.
I didn't see
Jordan Addison won the Blitnikoff. I'm assuming he's playing.
Jalen, who are you taking?
I'm going Tigers.
Ooh.
Yep, I'm going Tigers also.
See, I was originally going to take Tennessee because I think they could still win this game because Clemson – I just don't trust Clemson at all still. Cade played one game against the worst defense in college football, so that doesn't all of a sudden make him Trevor Lawrence. But anyway, I went with the Tigers. I think it's close, though.
Yeah, give me Clemson. Unfortunately. Okay, the All-State Sugar Bowl, number 5 Alabama versus number 9 Kansas State.
Alabama's only a 3.5-point favorite.
They're doing that only because Vegas wants all of the money put on that line on Bama. They want all of the money put on Bama. No, actually, sorry. They want people taking Kansas State to at least cover, and then Bama's just going to blow them out and they get all that money. Guaranteed. That's the only reason.
Nick Saban's not losing that.
Yeah, and then what's hilarious is right before this, Nick Saban was like talking mad shit about Kansas State. I can't remember the context, but they were talking a bunch of shit, and then they got matched up in this bowl game, which is
it's because he's mad. He's mad about the fact that they didn't make the playoff.
Yeah. I think Bama could. Kansas State gave everything they had in their conference title. I think Bama could probably like direct snap it to what's his face every play and still win this game.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
I think they probably just direct snap to Jahmyr Gibbs and win this game. Man,
they probably get Trent Richardson out of retirement, put his ass on the field. Bama still win this game.
I mean, I'll say Alabama Trent Richardson was kind of goated at times, so we'll say.
But Trent Richardson now?
Yeah, Trent Richardson when he was on Alabama was kind of goated.
Isn't he playing in like the fan-controlled football league with like Johnny
Manziel was there. I know that much.
Yeah.
But Lucas, you want Bama? I was so tempted to take Kansas State because I think Kansas State is a lot better than their 9-3 record showed. I think Deuce Vaughn is playing in this game. I could see it. I could see Kansas State pulling the upset, but I just think Bama has too much talent.
That's true.
Bama.
Yeah, Bama.
Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
The rematch of last year's Music City Bowl.
The exact same Music City Bowl. Iowa versus Kentucky.
Heck yeah.
I'm going Kentucky. Old Terry Wilson fan.
Yeah, Terry Wilson. Yeah, I'm going to go Kentucky as well.
Yeah, I went Kentucky as well. They still have Putrid Petrus as their starting quarterback, so.
Kentucky. Okay. The first of the two playoffs.
Man, I'm going Michigan, bro.
Turbo Fiesta Bowl. Number 3, TCU versus Michigan.
Yep. Go blue, baby. Go
blue.
blue.
I hate to say it. I was a diehard Ohio State fan growing up, but I mean, Michigan's gonna get this one. And I hate TCU. I told you I'm going against it, so I don't care.
Ryan.
Ryan hates Michigan.
I'm doing it. Give me Max Duggan, the real 2022 Heisman Trophy winner.
Man.
And the fighting Trayvon Boykins.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
and the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian University to make their first national championship appearance.
Blake Corum's still not playing though, right?
No, he's hurt. He's done for the year.
But Edwards is pretty good.
Hey, but Max Duggan has that Davis kid who's as fast as.
Do we even know that Max Duggan can walk right now?
Yes, he's had a whole month. He's fine. But they've got that Davis kid who I believe is like as fast as DeAnthony Thomas.
Okay, let's
did you
on that.
Wait,
that's a bold statement right there. That's a very bold.
That's like sacrilegious to say to those two.
I'm gonna hit up Davis in his Twitter mentions. I'm gonna hit Davis up in his Twitter mentions, man. And you get up DeAnthony Thomas and we'll set up a race. And we'll see what's going on. But nah, man, Quentin Johnson is also a beast. So.
Also, why the hell did TCU not throw it to Johnson, though, on the goal line there?
Quentin Johnson? No, because Duggan was hurt. That's why they ran halfback dive 3 times.
No, but they did a quarterback sneak.
Did we lose Jalen?
They did. When did they quarterback sneak? I don't think
they did a quarterback sneak. That was like wasn't that the last play of the game?
No, they handed it off the last play of the game.
Did we lose him?
We lost him again.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean,
he heard you say that guy was faster than DeAnthony. He's like,
he
fuck these kids, man.
I mean,
this is not hard for me at all. I don't know how it's hard for you. Like 7.5 points is generous. I think it should be upwards of 10.
Honestly, I still could see TCU somehow. I could still see him winning potentially.
See, it's going to be a close game throughout halftime and probably through the third quarter, and then Michigan's going to go up by like 21 with 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, I already picked Michigan. I was just trying to hee-haw, trying to think of
trying to hee-haw,
trying to just think if I was ever going to take it or not. But Jalen took Michigan, right?
Yep.
Yes, he did.
Okay. The Chick-fil-A, as I like to say, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and before Ohio State, somehow backing their way in after getting curb stomp by Michigan versus number 1 Georgia. Georgia is not even a touchdown favorite, 6.5. And also, it is at 7 o'clock, not at time, Central Pacific time or Central Standard Time.
Oh, nice.
Good job, Ryan.
And PM.
And PM Central Time. All right, so, Lucas, who are you going with?
Oh, dude, Georgia.
So
by a lot.
I'm gonna do it again.
I don't think Georgia.
You're taking Ohio. You're gonna have Ohio State and Michigan in the championship game.
I have TCU in the championship game.
Sorry.
No, you're not, dude. Georgia, Ohio State.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it.
If it ever does happen, if it did happen where Ohio State and Michigan played each other in the championship game, that would be the most watched college football game probably of all time. Because that game this year was the most watched college football game of this entire season was Ohio State and Michigan.
I'm gonna do it.
43 million people watched, or 43 million households.
Connor, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Wait,
I'm taking the Georgia Bulldogs, man.
Yeah, Georgia.
We're all taking the dogs. I don't know. Jalen might have took Ohio State just because he said he was a Ohio State guy, but
I don't know if Jalen had to take off or if we'd lost him, but
I think we lost him permanently at this point.
Yeah, he was probably just like, screw this, I'm not trying no more.
The Realiquist Bowl, number 22, Mississippi State versus Illinois.
Illinois is a 2-point favorite.
Mississippi State should be like a touchdown favorite after Mike Leach left or passed away. And the best part is Mike Leach said you need to act like a pirate, or you need to be like a pirate or what. This is in Tampa Bay where they have a pirate ship in the stadium. It's perfect.
All right, Lucas.
Who'd I pick? I actually picked the Illini in this one. Yeah, I just think they're going to probably run all over them, and then Mississippi State's just not going to have enough. I also think it's going to be like, there's one thing when you lose a coach to like going somewhere else, like to a different school or something, then they play motivated. There's another thing when you lose a coach to death, and it's like a different, like there's a sadness there to where it's like not as much motivation, I think. So I think Illinois ends up winning this.
Yeah, give me the former Fighting Chase Brown since he's out for the year, and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Lucas is a dork, but his dad is awesome.
Is that your dad? Or is that your brother or something?
It's my dad.
Hi, Lucas' dad.
What's up, Mr. McKnight? How are you doing?
I like how he like joined. I don't know if he just joined in. If he just joined in,
I just saw it. That's fantastic.
That's when Jalen leaves. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw this before when. Thanks, Jake. That's just so funny calling your dad Jake. I think I saw that Illinois, it was like 50-50 or maybe leaning towards Illinois before Mike Leach died. And now it's like 77% towards Mississippi State. And I'm going to think they're going to come out motivated and win for their coach. Go Bulldogs. I'm the only one taking that, at least that's here. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, number 16 Tulane versus number 10 USC. USC is only a 1.5-point favorite. That is really surprising. That's that small.
Really surprising. Tulane, they're a really good team, and shout out to Willie Fritz. However, USC has the Heisman Trophy winner, whether Ryan wants to say he is or not. He won the Heisman. He has it in his house. It's sitting there all nice and shiny looking, and Caleb Williams is going to absolutely ball in this game and beat Tulane, unfortunately. Go Pack.
Yeah, I went USC as well. I think Michael Pratt's mind is going to be elsewhere as he thinks about transferring Notre Dame. Therefore, I think
Every single quarterback in the portal.
It's just so every quarterback's just going to transfer to Notre Dame.
That's why they haven't committed yet, because they're like, who's going to go?
Wait. First of all, you want Hudson Card. Now you want Michael Pratt. Then you want Sam Hartman. Which one do you want?
You're gonna end up with Mertz.
But yeah, give me the Trojans that always break on you, but not in the Cotton Bowl.
You're 100% going to end up with Mertz, by the way.
No.
That'd be absolutely hilarious.
Well, we got Jack Cohn. We got Jack Cohn
Yeah,
from
so
Wisconsin.
definitely getting Mertz then. That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking USC. The Cheez-It Bowl. Number 17, LSU versus Purdue.
Why does Cheez-It get 2 bowl games? I don't understand this.
No, they don't.
Did they?
Yeah, they do. They have the Cheez-It Bowl and the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Oh.
I think it's just I don't know. But I will say,
that. Damn.
we talked about this before.
Well, it can't be
Ryan,
the Cheez-It Bowl.
We talked about this before. I think it was like after last show or maybe during the last show. I don't think that there should be unranked, highly ranked teams against unranked teams like this. Like 17 is still kind of teetering, but I just don't understand it. However, I took Purdue to win this game.
What?
You
realize Aiden O'Connell and Charlie Jones have declared for the draft, right?
I don't care. You realize Brian Kelly's record in bowl games? Yeah, I'm taking
and non-New Year's.
And also, games. I'm pretty sure. I don't know where I heard this from, if this was even true, but Drew Brees is like one of the coaches for Purdue for this game.
He's an interim assistant coach for Purdue. And LSU fans are really mad at him, even though he never went to LSU. It's just because he's a Saints legend, so they think that he's associated with LSU now. For that.
But I will say Brian Kelly is 2-0 in the Citrus Bowl.
But is he 2-0 in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl?
He is not. It was the Albertson Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
What is Albertson?
It's a store in the South.
You know what Albertson is?
No,
you uncultured swine.
I've been down to Florida. I've just never been anywhere else that's
but there's anyway. Alberts. They're not only in Florida.
I've never seen them in Florida.
But anyway, as the best LSU coach in the history of LSU would say, "Love you, man. Go Tigers."
Are you sure he wouldn't say we're gonna execute them all?
That's good. Yep.
The greatest coach in LSU history.
Give me LSU.
Oh.
And the Rose Bowl. Number 11, Penn State.
Didn't this used to be the Vizio Rose Bowl or something like that?
Something like that. Which one was the PlayStation? Oh, no, it's the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. That's what it was. Number 11, Penn State versus number 8.
Evidently, the Rose Bowl just thinks they're too good. They're too good for sponsors.
Yeah, this year, so at Oregon, whenever they played in the Rose Bowl, they had this big old circular patch that said presented by whatever Rose Bowl shit. This year, it's literally just the rose. So the uniform. No, but it makes the uniform
like that small.
Cool. Yeah. And it's going to be all whites versus all reds in this game.
Ooh.
You're gonna have a half whiteout of Penn State.
Yeah, it's going to be
also
sick.
both of these teams have been a part of some of the best Rose Bowls within the last 5 years.
True.
You said Utah?
I'm taking the Utes, yeah.
Is Cam Rising play?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me the Utes.
He hasn't even really declared technically.
Does he have an extra year of eligibility? Yeah. Oh, Lucas is going to be so amazed when he has to see Cam Rising in a Utah uniform.
That's right.
Again.
One Lake Go Knicks beat him. So I
Yep. Give me Utah. And then the national championship game. I love how the show, which we thought we were going to do in an hour, is close to 2 hours.
There was no way with all these games we were going to do under an hour. That was not.
And we're having Jalen, who I think he really did dip after you said that about Anthony Thompson. I think you actually pissed him off.
No, I think he was just probably like, screw this. It's too much.
No, I think I know he had tattoo appointments, so I think that might have been why.
He did, yeah, that is true.
Bro, he just forgot to say goodbye or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, he's busy, and then for any Oregon fans that are watching, he is selling a lot of used worn merchandise and stuff. He's trying to get rid of a lot of stuff out of his storage unit. So if any of you guys want to buy some Oregon stuff, just hit him up on Instagram, just DM him. And then he'll hook you up with that.
Nice.
All right, so Lucas, who is your 2023 national champs?
The 2022.
I gotta go with Georgia.
No, it would be 2023 because they wear the 2023 patch.
I'm going with Georgia. I really want to go with Michigan here, but it's hard to pick anybody but the Dogs right now. They're they're blowing out everybody. I got to go Georgia, and I think it's probably going to end up – let's go score prediction. I'm going to say 36-10. 24. 36-24, Georgia over Michigan.
So, guys, I'm going to do it again.
You think TCU?
You're thinking Georgia.
No way you think TCU wins the Natty. No chance.
I'm sticking with the team that I have been high on. But as Lucas spends thousands of dollars on Jalen Jelks' jock straps.
I didn't spend thousands of dollars. You only made $5 for those.
Yeah, he spent $5. And he has to buy one. And he has to stuff it. So
but anyway, I am going.
Yeah, it was an extra $5 for the cup. So I was like, I'll just go with the jock strap. We'll be all right.
But I am going with the team I've been high on all year. Give me the Bulldogs of Georgia University.
Yeah. Georgia.
Georgia wins
back-to-back champs.
Hey, give me scores.
Oh, my score? I'll give you scores and the point total. So mine, I have the point total of 63 points total. I think it's scored. So my game, I have 35-28 as my final score. Georgia over TCU.
35-28.
My score total is 72. I scored 43-29.
Ooh.
Okay.
If that math is correct.
Lucas, meanwhile, it's going to be it's going to be 100 points. Both teams are going to score 50.
I said 36-24, all right? Chill.
Okay, well, Jalen couldn't stay with us the whole time.
As we finish the show, now we get the most viewers we've had all show.
Yeah. And Josh showed up right at the dam. Hell, Josh. God damn.
It's funny.
Oh my god. What a shit show. But yeah, that's been the Week 0 podcast. We want to thank Jalen for coming on. He had other stuff.
Technical difficulties.
And the technical glitches, unfortunately, making Lucas's former problems look very mundane and not as bad by comparison. So,
and by the way, Lucas, when you get those jock straps, make sure you hang them on your wall behind.
Hey, I am telling you, for the national championship stream, I'll have all this stuff by then. And I'll just show you guys.
All right,
it'll be cool.
So we will be back
next week.
We'll still be doing next week, even with the bowl games, just talking about the bowl games that have happened, any other recruiter news, because that's the next thing we can talk about, because a lot of stuff has happened for our teams. BT's actually gotten a bunch of recruits and some big transfers. So that's fantastic to see. It's given me some amount of hope that I didn't think was actually physically possible, but we'll see how next year goes. But this has been the Week 0 podcast for Lucas. You can lose again, UCLA, McKnight. For Ryan, 2 mil for safety. Fravel, I'm your host, Connor, USA 2026 World Cup champs Doherty. This has been the Week 0 podcast. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you then.